Well, good afternoon. Tuesday afternoon, huh?
Good afternoon to you. How you doing?
Doing okay. I had a leftover hot dog for lunch.
Linda had some leftover hot dogs.
She did.
Yes, yes. So it's always nice when she comes by and I had a hot dog too.
Yep, leftovers, right? We eat them at home. We eat them at church. We don't let anything go to waste. So
It was a fun 4th of July.
it was
Little
really
picnic
great.
there. Yeah.
It was about the best turnout we've seen at an event in a while. Not that
Yeah,
there
and
were
it's
low
the middle
numbers,
of summer.
but it was just like a bunch of people showed up,
Yeah.
and you know, on Sunday had a bratwurst with some grilled onions and some of that German potato salad that I've already heard from others that they were sorry they missed the German potato salad. I actually have gotten messages from people.
There you go.
So
Pretty exciting, huh?
it is pretty exciting. So good stuff.
It is good stuff.
And people had a lot of fun. They ate. We did some great 4th of July trivia and music trivia, including a song from Rocky III by James Brown. That was always it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, was it Rocky 3?
I think it was Rocky III. 3 or 4. One of those two.
One of those two.
They all kind of blend together after the first one.
Really? I think Rocky 4 stands out.
Fighting Mr. T, fighting the Russian guy,
Yeah,
who actually is
that's different,
Swedish
isn't
and
it?
has a PhD in like astrophysics. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Dolph Lundgren played the Russian in that Rocky
Yeah.
movie. Turns out he's Swedish and he has a PhD.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I just thought he was, you know, the worst. But as it turns out, he's one of my fellow countrymen, being Swedish myself. Yeah.
Wow. Well, good for him.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
sounds like he's a well-accomplished
He's a stand-up
individual.
guy.
Stand-up guy.
Yeah. And you know, we did some music trivia. People ate. People hung out, had fun. That, you know, that's all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
VBS kids sang a couple of songs at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, they did.
And folks turned out and enjoyed seeing the kids, including their parents. Except for
Yeah,
that
no.
one little girl who I thought was going to spin off the front of the sanctuary.
Some of them really take their spinning seriously.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
It was the one little girl with the headphones on. And
Yeah.
I thought she was going to go down. I thought she was going to
She's a
exuberant.
top-notch spinner, though.
She's an exuberant young woman.
Yeah.
It's very cute to watch, but I was
Yeah.
like, lawsuit, lawsuit.
Yeah.
Every
They're a
time she
brand new
did that.
family to the church.
Yeah,
So-
loved having them.
Yeah.
So, and if she was having fun up front, we love it. So,
I love it too.
yeah. And we also finished off Galatians chapter 6.
Yes. So we completed all 6 chapters, and there'll be something new coming up. That means
Yes,
this coming weekend.
that's right. KCLC Radio is back on the air come this weekend.
Yeah.
And as I promised, all my emails end with "Don't give me any guff. God bless you."
That's true. That's true. The way Paul signs off on his
I
letter.
figured that's a great way. It's a biblical sign off, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, you know, I mean, I think all in all, for a 4th of July week, we had a really busy week.
Yes. It definitely hasn't felt like it calmed down any.
Yeah, right. And I heard today, you heard that the VBS decorations are going to be utilized by another church.
Yep. So we've got a number of decorations that are going heading off to another church, and that's great when we do all that work and it lasts for 1 week, and then
If it's one use.
it's really hard to store all of it too. Like they
Yeah.
try to store it here and there, and if there's something here, we can try to do little things, but
I mean, if there's something really special, you're like, I might use that again. Of course, you can put away, but you can't take a whole set and
it's
save
really
it.
hard to do that. Yeah.
That's right. So we are building the ecumenical relations out here in Las Vegas. We are modeling for the world what it means to work with brothers and sisters of other Christian denominations.
Yes.
So
Yes.
good for
So
you. We can add ecumenical affairs to your
We should.
to your
do that.
portfolio here, right?
No, that'll be great though. So the good folks at St. Viator can come by, grab some rainforest gear,
Yeah.
and then hopefully have a spectacular week themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And fun to see our Roman Catholic brothers and sisters also embracing the Vacation Bible School.
Yes. I mean, and actually, I went to one of the Catholic churches and picked up a bunch of gear and then brought it over here, and then
So now I got
St.
to
Viator's
ask, is
next.
this a normal thing that you guys have a round robin or not necessarily?
So not necessarily, because we have been doing the early week, like right after
Right.
school ended, and so there was nobody to get decorations from at that time. And then we would hand them off to a few different places, including Hillendale,
Yeah.
but not with St. Viator's. So,
But how did
yeah.
you get like wrapped up or like connected with, oh,
So they do know what we do. We kind of know who they are, but it had never worked out. Like we had tried calling and connecting, but it hadn't worked out in previous years. And they reached out this time, and so we were off to
that's
the
great.
races.
I know in other churches I've served, we had it lined up where 4 or 5 churches
We
would-
just all
we'd
pass it
pitch
down
in.
the line.
We'd pitch in on the cost, and we'd build the things, and then they would just go
Yeah.
from one church to another. And sometimes that included like foam, that spray foam, like structures. Like if 5 churches are going to use it, we go a little bit more because we're all pitching in, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'd end up having some pretty boss decorations because we all invested in it, you know.
Yes.
So, but then yes, there was times when I can remember the same thing. Are you going to come get this stuff? Are you coming? It is Saturday and we got church tomorrow. Are you coming? You know, like we need you to come get this stuff.
Yeah. So and looks like they're all on their way and all going to be good.
That's
So,
great. That is great.
Yep.
Good stuff. So don't forget, on Friday we have the Born on the 4th of July show, and there's a few tickets left for that.
Yeah, but it is getting tight even for the sanctuary.
Yes.
So and it's going to be big.
And there is the on-demand option, which means this: you can't watch it live on Friday night, but then you can watch it in your leisure starting sometime on Saturday, Sunday, whenever you want to watch it. You can get like 48 hours to put it on repeat and just run it for 2 days straight. So
Yeah.
yeah, so there is that option. So
Or do both.
yeah, come and then buy an online version.
Buy it online after.
So,
Sure.
but there is the online, just not the live in the moment feature anymore.
Well, if you were trying that, it
Got disappointed.
You got disappointed.
And
Yeah.
that wasn't on our end. That was on the other end of
Yeah.
things. So,
So-
but you can get it, and you could probably watch it Sunday afternoon and enjoy it then. So, so yeah, lots of great stuff. So, let's go back to Sunday at 11 o'clock. Now, this song was sung at every service this weekend. And so, if you worshiped with us, you heard it at one point. But this is a song that set up the sermon, talking about the importance of grace and how we treat people and where our allegiance should lie. So we're going to go back to the 11 o'clock version where Robbie Wingfield sang this Rich Mullins tune. Let's take a listen.
There's more that rises in the morning than the sun, more that shines in the night than just a moon. It's more than just this fire here that keeps me warm, in a shelter that is larger than this room. And there's a loyalty that's deeper than mere sentiments, and a music higher than the songs that I can sing. The stuff of earth competes for the allegiance I owe only to the giver of all good things. So if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you will pull me through. And if I can, let me fall on the grace that first brought me to you. And if I sing, let me sing for the joy that is born in me these songs. And if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home. There's more that dances on the prairies than the wind, and more that pulses in the oceans than the tide. There's a love that's fiercer than the love between friends, more gentle than a mother's when her baby's at her music higher than the songs that I can't sing. The stuff of earth competes for the allegiance I owe only to the giver of all good things. So if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you will pull me through. And if I can, let me fall on the grace that first brought me to you. And if I sing, let me sing for the joy that has wanted me these songs. And if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home. And if I stand, let me stand on the promise that you will pull me through. And if I can, let me fall on the grace that first brought me to you. And if I sing, let me sing for the joy that has wanted me these songs. And if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home. And if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home.
So If I Stand, coming to us, written by Rich Mullins and Steve Cudworth, but Rich was the one who performed the song. It was on, he was the recording artist. That was 1988.
Wow, and I mean, when you said Rich Mullins, it sounds like a Rich Mullins song.
Yep.
But at the same time, I don't know that I recognized it.
I'm like, I knew it, that, Robbie
Yeah.
talked about it. I guess somewhere in the early 90s, I was exposed to Rich Mullins music. And so I had owned, I guess to date myself, cassette tapes
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
CDs. And so, so that's, my early 20s, and I'm been a big fan of Rich Mullins. And then in the mid 90s, 96, I was fortunate enough to go see him a couple of times. One, right after he had written a musical about St. Francis of Assisi. But he placed it, what made it unique was he placed it in the Old West and not, in medieval Europe. And there's some really good songs on that album too, but that was just a musical. And then shortly after that, I went and saw him, and this is all in spring of '96. Go see him just perform with like a normal concert in a church, and just I was just in the right place at the right time to go see both of those things. Because the musical ended up not going anywhere, and it was only performed a couple of times, so I actually got to see it performed.
Okay.
And then it was right after that he did one more concert, and then he was killed in a car accident outside of Bloomington, Illinois. So I'd seen him in Chicagoland, and the thing about him was, as it relates to church, is his church home, or his grounding, was in the evangelical church, the non-denominational church. But he was not captive to them. He was literally a free spirit. And when he was not out on the road, he lived on a reservation, a Native American reservation.
Oh, I didn't know
and most of the time you would, if you ran into him, most of the time he was barefoot, which spoke to his freeness. And he never felt like he had to toe the line as it related to evangelical Christianity. He really was someone who was not seeking the approval of human beings
Wow.
or institutions, and he was just really a breath of fresh air. And I think it would have been really fascinating to see his evolution of a human being had he not died tragically in a car crash, because I think that in some ways the best was yet to come for Rich Mullins and for the world to benefit by it, at least Christianity to benefit by it. And so I guess one of the things that as, you know, in my mid-20s at that point, a little bit older, and trying to figure out my way in the world, my, you know, a couple of years shy of coming out here as a freshly minted pastor, trying to figure out who I am, you know, my identity as a calling, to see somebody just be like, I'm a child of God, and you can't put anything on me or any labels on me, and you can't put me in a box, and I'm going to do what God is calling me to do, not what you want me to do. Not that he was defined at all. He was one of the most gentle, meek people.
Wow.
Whenever he talked, you know, in between songs, you could just get a sense that he was not a showman. He was not about the performance. He was like, yeah, I wrote these songs and I kind of like them. Maybe you'll like them too. Like, he was that kind of guy. And so when I think about Rich Mullins, not that I knew him personally, but boy, I felt like I had this kinship because I got to see him a couple of times right before his untimely passing.
Right. Well, just somebody who just honestly seemed to live by the Spirit.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
just kind of flowed.
And I think that there are genuinely people who knew him and still miss him, you know, 30 years later. And I can see why, you know. And luckily, if you are so inclined, you know, if you get online and do a web search for Rich Mullin interviews or conversations, there's a lot of documented material where he was filmed and performing. And so if you really want to spend some time getting to know a little bit about him, you actually can look him up and actually watch video of Rich Mullins. And so really a unique and special person. When he was talking about this song, he talked about, and I want to read this to you, this is one of his quotes. He said, he just wants to suck the marrow out of the bones of life. Like, he just wants to squeeze it all out. And he says, noting that one day, he says, album sales won't matter, but he'll have to give an account to his life to God. And he said that God will be most pleased with seeing that he truly lived as the person he was created to be, as opposed to album sales or manufacturing a number one hit or whatever.
Healthy perspective.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's the kind of stuff where he's like, I'm just going to tell you how I see it, and, you know, whether the record company likes that or not, or, you know, who cares, right? So I do appreciate that. But as this song, it is one of my favorite songs of his. It is absolutely one of my favorites, and even 30 years later, it's still, you know, 40 years later, it's still a great song.
Yeah.
So some of the themes in here, you know, there's the first two verses talk about there's more to life than what meets the eye, right? There's more that rises in the morning than the sun. There's more that shines in the night than just the moon. There's more than just this fire here that keeps me working. He's saying there's something more. There's something more. And if we look at Colossians chapter 3, we hear this kind of directing us. It says, since then, he's talking to a Christian community. So since then you've been raised with Christ, or in other words, you're a person of faith. Set your heart on things above. That's where you're going to find the more, not just the stuff of this earth, where Christ is seated at the right hand of God. Jesus is large and in charge. He's at the seat of power. So set your mind on things above and not on earthly things. And I wish I could read that once and go, okay, got it, and never struggle with that again. Okay, I just got to think
I
about,
just set my heart on things above.
and that's it. And now that I've taken that
Set
in,
it and forget it.
set it and forget, just like Ron Popeil's rotisserie cooker. Set it and forget it. I didn't even know you knew who Ron Popeil was.
I wouldn't have known his name,
Okay,
but I
Some of us grew up with things like the Pocket Fisherman.
Pocket fisherman.
Some of us remember even the older product where you would take bottles and cut around them and make cups to drink out of. You remember that thing? The glass cutter that Ronco had a bottle cutter where you set the bottle in and it had a diamond etcher around it, and then you'd have to sand it, and then you could take your favorite wine bottle and make a big drinking glass out of it. You remember that though, Philip?
I remember being in a hotel room with the cross country team.
No, I don't know if we wanted. We're online.
With yeah, right.
We got deleted last week, Pastor Brian.
I know we did.
We got in
I
big
know we
trouble.
did.
So just think about your words before you say
Yes.
them.
No.
You're in
there
a
was
hotel room with the cross country team. Okay, proceed.
Yes.
I have nothing to do with this.
No, TV was on, and
Yeah.
some guy was talking about setting it and forgetting
Oh,
it.
yeah, that would have
Yes.
been Ron Popeil.
Yes. And that
Yeah.
was about the extent of the adventure.
Yeah. He also had, Philip will enjoy this one, Ronco's Mr. Microphone. Set it to the low band of your AM radio band, and
there
you
either.
would have your own microphone. Hey, good looking.
Hey,
I'll be back to
well.
pick you up later. That's the commercial. That is the one. That's exactly right. So some of us growing up had things like Mr. Microphone in the house.
Wow. Wow. Where do we go from there?
We are like our own Ronco infomercial right here, right?
I guess we are.
We're talk about some dating ourselves. That's some dating right there. So if you could just set your mind on things above and not earthly things, probably most of the struggles in life would go away, right?
Yeah.
But what do we have is we have our battle of wanting our way, my will be done, not thy will be done, and then other people want to fight for the things that they want, and and as senior pastor,
And we get drawn into that.
Yeah.
We try to set our lives
set
up.
it and forget it, but
And we get caught up in all the garbage.
yeah.
Yep.
And I was going to say the senior pastor's office is always the #1 recipient of the complaint department in any church.
Yeah.
So, when somebody doesn't like something, I'm usually the first to hear about it. I'm usually the front point person of customer service. So,
There are things people don't like.
yep.
We can get caught up in all of that.
And when you compare it to, using the adage, 100 years from now, most of this stuff won't matter. Well, most of those complaints are about, will these things matter in 100 years? The answer is no.
There you have it.
So
There you have
if
it.
we all could just set our minds on things above, and honestly, there are times we probably should just let some things go. Is it really worth complaining about? Right?
Yeah.
Just
You can
accept
tell
it.
it's
a disappointment.
eating at us,
Just-
and you can tell to a point. It's slowly just destroying. It's destructive, and
Yeah.
it's ripping us apart.
but there is something more and there's something greater, and Rich Mullins is pointing to it in the song, and then the writer of Colossians is really pointing us to say, embrace the more, not the things of earth, right?
Yep.
Now in 2 Corinthians, Paul is writing about the struggles of this life as well, and when one of my favorite lines in the song is, the stuff of earth competes for the allegiance that I can only give to the giver of all good things. That is one of my favorite lines in this song.
Yeah.
And-
We're trying to make that a strong competition. And
Right?
it's-
There shouldn't be a competition.
shouldn't be a competition.
Just give your allegiance to God, things
Yeah.
above, and 2 Corinthians, Paul really gets at some of
Yeah,
this too.
in chapter 4, verse 16. Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal.
But we fix our eyes on the most convenient thing, and that is the stuff we can see.
Yeah.
That's the struggle.
Yep.
The world we live in is the one we give most attention to. therefore, we're more apt to be engaged in that maybe more than we should, as opposed to letting stuff go and say, you know what, in 100 years this won't matter because what is seen is temporary, and what is unseen is eternal, and it really is a perspective check,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And if we could only recall this in those big moments, and to say, is this worth fighting about? Is this worth throwing a fit and dragging other people in? Is it worth that, or do I readjust? Okay, this thing isn't working, or this thing isn't quite right. Do I just readjust and work my way around it and keep moving, or do I need to plant my flag on that molehill and make sure everybody knows how important and really frivolous this thing really is, right? You know,
And that's kind of.
we struggle with that, right? We struggle with
Yep.
making mountains out of molehills.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I don't know if you picked up on this. It was super subtle in my sermon this week when I got to the point in Galatians talking about if somebody thinks they're something when they're really nothing, they deceive themselves. I used this image, and I don't know if you caught it, but it was an image of a stone on this desert kind of landscape.
Yeah.
But the sun was hitting it, and it was reflecting a mountain. I don't
Right.
know if you saw
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
I didn't,
so the stone, instead of having the, just being the stone,
stone
it had the
shadow.
mountain in the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was super subtle, and I didn't have time to talk about it, but I thought the image was so good of like, oh, we're just a
No,
stone.
I like
but-
that you didn't talk about it. I like that you could just, you
gotta
could
think
see what
about
was
it.
going on. Yes.
Yeah, you
yes.
got to think about it. And
Yeah.
but sometimes we want to think we have a mountain of importance,
Mm-hmm.
when instead we should just be like humble children of God and be like, that's who I am. I don't need to say how great I am and pat myself on the back, so on and so forth. So, but I just think that if we could just continue to, well, as the that super old praise tune, probably as old as If I Stand, open the eyes of my heart. Like if I could just
Oh, yeah.
look that way at things and not just through the lens of what benefits me or what disadvantages me, and be able to let that stuff go and be happy. And I think that if someone is aging well, your wisdom increases if you're aging well. I mean, that's our all hope, which means you start to let go of, like, this stuff actually starts to sink in the older you get, and you start letting stuff go. And I think that is one of the benefits to longevity. Not that everybody gets that, but if somebody's on the discipleship walk long enough, that wisdom finally seeks in, and they stop caring about dumb stuff, to be honest about it, and can live simply and enjoy the simple things of life. The simple things of life is like other people, relationships, food on the table, the simple things, right? And I think that longevity has the propensity, if you're on that walk, to allow that wisdom to seep in and to let the other stuff go. But I think the big thing is when we try to keep up with the Joneses, look at what my neighbors have, look what my friends have, I should have that too. And we're playing this comparison game where why shouldn't we also have what they have? And
Sure.
it gets you in debt, first of all, and secondly, it's all temporary. So the stuff of earth competes for the allegiance I owe only to the giver of all good things. But the song ends this way, which is the end of the chorus, and he says, if I weep, let it be as a man who is longing for his home.
Beautiful line.
Yep, Philippians 3:20, but our citizenship is in heaven, and we eagerly await a Savior from there, the Lord Jesus Christ. And, and I think that's a part of the reflection of who we are is, where is our home? Where do we truly fit in? And as a Christian, if we settle the fact that we're just passing through, then what is ahead is actually more important than what is right in front of us. And I think about that in relationship. You know, we just celebrated our 250th anniversary as a country, and one can be thankful to be born and raised in the United States of America, right? You can be thankful for that, but it should not, and it does not for me, eclipse the fact that my citizenship, first and foremost, is in heaven, because I'm going to spend a heck of a lot more time there than I will here, in the economy of things, right? And so my job is to be more like a Boy Scout. One of the Boy Scout mottos is to leave things better than when you found them. And so while I hold dual citizenship, heaven and here in the United States of America, my job is to try to leave the place better than when I found it.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
even if at times it feels that the trajectory of national politics is going in the toilet, which would be my personal assessment of everything I've looked at in the past few years, I still can do my part to at least leave my corner of the world better than when I found it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a part of the citizenship of heaven that takes priority and precedence over everything else. But at the same time, you still can be thankful for living in this nation, but yet it does not eclipse or overtake what it means to be a child of God.
Yeah.
I really have a sneaking suspicion that when we get to heaven one day, we're not segregated by nations. We are not separated.
All these the molehills,
The
all the
molehills,
things that
right?
we've built for ourselves, that's
Exactly.
not going to be what matters.
Exactly. So I think that there's this real importance of us building fellowship, brotherhood with not only each other in our neighborhoods and in our state and our nation, but also to build those relationships as far as people want to reciprocate, to build a fellowship around the world. And if nothing else, if it doesn't work from a political standpoint, at least as Christians, we should be about building bridges, like giving VBS decorations to St. Viator's, right?
Why not?
Be building those bridges, because one day we'll all be together in heaven. And I remember, and I'll close on this, when I was in Illinois serving a church there, we rented to a Pakistani Christian church.
Okay.
And the pastor of that church, who'd been pastor for that church for a long time, his name was William Paul, and he's now deceased. He was the kindest, most gentle
Really?
human being.
Yeah.
And they would meet at our church on Sunday night, so no one was at church, right? And he would occasionally come in and talk to me. And you know, this guy was, you know, in his 70s, but he'd come in and talk to me. And he talked about every time he would travel to Pakistan, and you know, that's a Muslim country, if you did not know. That is an Islamic country. He said, but there are Christians. He said, but often they are afraid. He said, but we would occasionally, when I'm visiting, he said, we would go out into the countryside and, you know, not unlike Jesus, be on the side of a hill and, you know, worshiping and hearing God's word and praying and preaching. And he said there was no, you know, trappings of life there. You know, there was no church building. There was no air conditioning. There was no sound system. He said it
Wow.
was just the people of God wanting to commune with God and each other. And it was that simple.
Yeah.
And when I think of him, first of all, I know I'll see him again in heaven one day. But I also think about the simplicity of him really talking about our citizenship is in heaven and not getting caught up in all the earthly stuff.
Yeah.
And the simplicity of that worship has never left me, him describing that to me. So
That no. Well, that's beautiful.
It's a reminder to us. Keep the main thing the main thing. So, but we're glad you joined us today. There is no Bible study tomorrow because that is next Wednesday, where we'll pick up the Minor Prophets. But that's a week from tomorrow. So we'll have a quiet day tomorrow, working in the office. I got a newsletter article to write, and
Still that regular stuff.
we got that regular stuff
keeps
to get
coming.
done.
Keeps coming.
But stay cool out there. If you're in the Southwest, we have some dangerous heat right now. So drink lots of water, stay hydrated, stay inside when you can, and take care of yourself. But we love you. God bless you. Take care. And Philip, will you play us out?